for whatever happened to our families after the Shoah, after the Holocaust. 1927, my mother wrote in Köln, and she was a young girl there. This is also a very important one, the Adelsberger family. You see my grandmother, her brother, my great-grandparents on one table, and this is actually the Adelsberger who had a big collection of art and porcelain. So how do we know about the collection? Because this is the catalogue. Now, 190 paintings, and all of these paintings belong to the family, and we are trying now to see where these paintings are, which paintings still exist, other paintings that are not existing anymore, and we're doing our best in order to find all of them. Here is a lady. This painting we found. It is a painting which is now in Germany, and it's by a private family who already bought the painting in 1937, before the Holocaust. The grandfather bought it from the bank, who took it from my great-grandfather, and we're trying to get it back. The families then have to cope with their emotions, because these paintings are something which is left of usually grandparents or great-grandparents they have never known. I never knew my great-grandparents, and only you get something which reminds you or is a link to the past. This is if the family has a straight lineage from before the Holocaust. Sometimes the heirs are not direct heirs from the people who lived before the Holocaust, and then it becomes a little bit easier because they have no emotional ties. What we see is that with Jewish families who were persecuted in the Holocaust, and usually the second, third, and even the fourth generation carry with them emotional weight or traumas which they get from their parents. The whole process is a difficult process and can lead to misunderstandings or to discourse within the family. It is not, everything is not about the law and about judges and lawyers. It's about emotions, and it's about people, and sometimes the European governments and the restitution commissions do not fully understand how to cope with this. That it's not only a question of a beautiful painting or sometimes a lot of money for the painting, it is foremost a question of emotions. So in practical terms, what is happening once it is established that a painting or porcelain or an artifact has a doubtful history, and that is something the provenance researchers will study, the family gets informed, or the family herself does her own research, and then the whole story just starts, because the family has to try to get together all the evidence and all the proof that indeed the painting was owned by their ancestors. Usually the family doesn't know anything about their ancestors, or even worse, the people who went through the Shoah, their grandparents or great-grandparents, in our case my mother, never told us anything about the Shoah. And then suddenly you have to face that things happened which you didn't know, and you have to go after the story and go after the facts, and suddenly the whole puzzle becomes very big, a lot of details which you have to work on, and you find out what happened really with the family. It's like a journey. And it's an emotional journey because, unfortunately, usually it's a bad ending. It's not a happy ending. It's a bad ending, and people suffered a lot. And people didn't want to speak after the Holocaust what happened to them if they returned. Sometimes the owners, or in many cases the owners, were murdered and gassed in Auschwitz and in other concentration camps. And the emotions which come with this not only work towards the people who are working with them and trying to get as much proof as possible, and the lawyers and the restitution committees, but it also works inside the families. That inside the families there are differences of opinions, and sometimes the heirs even don't know each other and come from a completely different background. They can be Jewish, they can be non-Jewish, they can be Orthodox Jews, they can be Reformed Jews, they can be assimilated Jews. And then they get together and they have to work together and to see if together they are able to get this whole project off the ground. And it's difficult to get it off the ground, and it's difficult to get results. And it takes years and years. It is a very slow process. So yes, you have to understand that it takes a lot of toll. It's not an easy thing. And there are indeed families I met families who said, we're not interested. We don't want to do it. Because we are afraid it's going to be too emotional for us. We rather leave things where they are and not handle them and get on with our life. Also that happens, and it's understandable. This is the handwriting of my mother. She made all kinds of notes. This is actually in a Polish museum, Leistikov. It's also a good painting, and they don't want to talk to us. The Polish government sees no reason at all to do any restitution. They just don't. They told us they're not interested to talk to us, and it is going to stay where it is.